Hey guys, it's Matt from You and Your Horror Movies, and welcome to Body Bags. It is Friday, and this week I am reviewing a great anthology that definitely needs a video release for sure. Because, bootlegs are great, but getting official releases are even better. This week I'm doing from, I think it's 1993, H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon. Yes, I got a bootleg. There is I think a German and a one from Greece that it's available if you want to do an import. But I got a bootleg pretty cheap and watched it the other night. This movie's awesome. So great special effects. Mostly all practical, especially from the 90s. You don't get much CGI, but insane. All right. Pretty much you have Jeffrey Combs, who plays the character of H.P. Lovecraft. He is in the search for the book, the Necronomicon. He finds out that it's in this library that is pretty much guarded by monks. The monks know who he is because he's gone there numerous times for other stories, but this time he knew about the Necronomicon. Decided to finally steal the key from the monk and get to the basement where the book is stored. Finally does, and he releases the Necronomicon and gets pretty much locked into this caged room. Now, the Necronomicon is in this little vault area that he gets open. He drops the keys into this watery ravine underneath the grate. So anyway, he starts to read and write down the stories in the Necronomicon. Um, so pretty much you have three stories, and then you have the ending, the wraparound. The first story pretty much involves a gentleman who has inherited a motel on a cliff from his dead uncle and aunt. So he's driven all up. He's walking around. They're showing off the motel, and underneath you definitely see all these weird catacombs. Well, the real estate agent, she gives him this final note that with the inheritance of the motel, he must read this at night. So he does. So which is cool is this is a story within a story. So now you flash back to the past where his uncle found out that both his wife and son died at sea. He was rescued and lived. They died. So he's, against religion and everything, throws the Bible in the fire, kicks everybody out. Well, he gets a guest from this weird creature, all in sea guard, shells, seaweed, and he looks like this thing. And gives him the Necronomicon. Now, the Necronomicon tells him how to revive his dead loves. So he does. He does a blood ritual, and bad things happen. He goes nuts and pretty much jumps off the balcony and kills himself. Now we go back to present day with his nephew. Decides to do that too, to bring back his dead wife because in a car accident, they end up driving off a cliff. He lives, she dies. Well, he brings her back, but she's not who she seems to be. So now he has to fight off these demon creatures, which is really neat. I love the way the monster looked at the end of this anthology. Of this first story in the anthology. Pretty cool, badass effects. I won't get much in that one. Now, every time Jeffrey Combs writes down a story and they finish it, the room that he's encaged in changes a little bit. The water sewer that was down there, something's moving. And where the book was stored has this little hieroglyphic note. That every time he goes to the next story, another door opens in this little area. So now he goes to the second one. It's pretty much a journalist who has discovered that these people are disappearing in this loft. So he goes to find the woman, and of course there's always a for rent sign on the door. He goes in, it's a very cold room. She gives him some coffee and completes to tell the story about her mom. Now here's another story within a story. So she's telling about her mom, how she found this apartment, and it's the same way. The owner says, you can live here, do what you want to do, but don't disturb the doctor. The doctor here needs his work done and everything. Well, she's escaping her own demons of an ex-boyfriend who is very abusive. Things go well. Well, she gets a job at a little restaurant. Well, the boyfriend shows up and attacks her. The good doctor saves her. Then all of a sudden, when she's at the restaurant, the cops are there, and she sees a note saying, her picture of her boyfriend missing. So she trots off to find the doctor and confronts him, going, "What did you do with him?" Well, she ends up falling in love with the doctor. And of course, they have sex and everything. But the doctor has a secret. He's been living for quite some time. He has found a way to extend his life beyond normal, but with bad consequences. The story is really good. It kind of reminds me of a Tales from the Crypt-esque type of story. So I won't get much into that because that story is pretty good. You can spoil that one beyond easily. So now, after Jeffrey Combs writes that story down in his little notepad, the room gets colder. So everything gets kind of entwined with the stories. So now the monks in the library are trying to find him, and they know exactly where he is and come after him. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to write another story down." So now we go into the third story. Now this third story is not a story within a story. It's just the story of a cop and her partner who are chasing a felon in a car. They keep talking like how she's pregnant and she's with her partner. Her partner, I think, knocked her up. And she doesn't want to have the baby. He does. And they're going back and forth while in this car chase. Well, there was an accident and the person they're chasing gets out of the car and pretty much takes her partner down into these weird catacombs. So of course, she goes after him. Now, this story's a little kind of weak, a little bit, how they and trace everybody together. But when she's down in the catacombs, she meets a couple, kind of an elderly couple. And they're saying, "No, the man that you're looking for, he's called the Butcher. He brings a bunch of people down here and butchers them, supposedly." Well, now he has the partner and she tries to find him. She ends up in kind of like a cavern of hell, pretty much. I can't get into much on this one because I would spoil that one too, and that's a good story. Some great special effects in there, and in this cavern of death, hell, whatever you want to call it, there's bones, blood, shit everywhere. There's this altar, and there's these flying bat-like creatures that are flying around, and she's trying to take them out and everything. Cool story. I can't get into much on that one because, again, that will ruin it. It's really hard to do anthologies, but hopefully this will help you out. The wraparound at the end is where Combs finally finishes his third story, and then the monks try to intervene and stop him so they can get the Necronomicon back, which was pretty neat. Like I said, a lot of cool special effects, a lot of cool puppetry, rubber creature-like effects. Really cool film. I would love to see this one get an official U.S. release. Hell, I don't care if it's a Region 2 release somehow. But this one definitely needs some love. This is a great anthology. If you're in love, like H.P. Lovecraft type stories, you'll definitely enjoy this one too, because this one's got some great stuff. The creature that's in the first story, the one that walks in and drops off the Necronomicon to the uncle, kind of reminds me of the Lost One, or I forgot what they're called, but they're like fish-like creatures. He's a fish-like guy. But great story, great setups. I enjoyed this one really well. It was a lot of fun. Great special effects where you have people like ripping their chest open and there's ribs and blood. There is a great body melting scene in this movie. Highly recommend it. If you guys never seen this one, get yourself and maybe find a good bootleg. If you want to go import, I think Germany, Greece has a couple. This one, like I said, is a bootleg, no special features. I would love to see special features on this one. Other than that, thanks very much for watching, guys. Check out Necronomicon from 1993. Later. Peace.